Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And I'm excited to announce I got something new. And here it is. So real quick, we're going to have an unboxing. So please don't try this at home, only trained professionals should attempt. Alright, here we go. And this was quite expensive. Okay. So what's in this mystery box? Direct from Amazon. What? Oh, what is this? Okay. Okay, this appears to be an AC adapter. Pretty common, right? To power up pedals and those kinds of things. However, this is no ordinary AC adapter, and the reason is because of this. And so the idea is that you plug in the end of the AC adapter into this cable. There we go. And now instead of one output, you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I had one that had 8 before, and quite frankly it got kind of messy. So I scaled back a little bit and went to 4. And this cost a whopping $10 at Amazon. Right? So I mean, I paid top dollar for this thing. Now why would I do such a thing? Well, I'll tell you why. So it's quite obvious I spared no expense. That how it goes. So for example, I've got this SY200 pedal, and there you go. Right? Pretty basic thing, right? However, when you've got, pedal board or what have you, and you just want to add a pedal and power it up, this is a real easy way to do it. So you can add, 4 pedals, which is plenty, for me anyway, because if I'm using a pedal board or what have you, and I just want to add like a synth pedal or something, I'd only use one of these and still have 3 hooked up. Now I know what you're thinking. Boy, I don't know, man. That seems expensive. $10. But I spared no expense. Top dollar. Top dollar. $10. And it seems to be doing a great job. So that's super. Now, I saw recently that line 6 is about to ship the line 6 Helix Stadium XL. And it's kind of an expensive unit, like $2,200. For $2,200, you think that like a car would come with it or something. I'm just saying, man, that's expensive. Anyway, but that's not what we're gonna look at today. However, we are gonna look at a Line 6 product that I think is really great and can be had used pretty inexpensively. I mean, I think it was $350, but it may be even less now, used. And it's built like a tank. And it's the Line 6 Helix, or, the Line 6 hxeffects. Right? And basically, it has everything you would find in the original Helix, except no amp modeling, right? But if you have a decent amp, you know, I don't know that you need the amp modeling at all, really. Anyway, that's my opinion. So, and what I discovered about it is that it can do quite a bit. Now, the sound quality, first off, is really fantastic. I mean, just the delays and reverbs and the amount of sounds, you can hear it here. Clean sounds, and I made a mistake in an earlier video when I said the hxeffects only has clean sounds, kind of like a Plethora X5, but that is not the case. It actually does have fuzz and overdrive and distortion pedals. Also has a built-in looper, right? And you can switch between a 1-switch looper and a 6-switch looper. The 6-switch looper takes advantage of all the real estate on the hxeffects, and it's very easy to choose half speed, full speed, reverse, forward, of course overdub, those kinds of things. The 1-switch looper basically just lets you record, overdub, and undo function, and of course stop and clear, you know. But it's pretty basic, but it sounds great. I'll play you a small loop. And then you can overdub that or whatever. those kinds of things. Now, I think one of the other great things about this unit is something that you would think would be so simple to do, but no. And that is the bass sound. And the bass octave is probably the best I've heard, really, as far as units like this go. You know, it's kind of... So when you're looping something, let's say, it's just really nice to add a bass line to it. You know, hold on a second. So let's say I was just adding we'll do a small loop here. Okay, so that's basically the hxeffects, right? And it's a pretty darn cool unit because there's a lot of different sounds in here, and you kind of have to go through them and figure it out. In fact, honestly, I've had it quite a while, but I've barely scratched the surface. But I like this so much, I bought another one. I have two. Of course, it comes with software that you can, edit patches and all those kind of things. However, it is an older unit, and so as a result, there are no drums whatsoever, no audio interface, recording via USB or a loop back feature, for recording. Doesn't have any of that. So if you want to record with it, you'd have to use an external audio interface and microphones and so on and so on. To me, it's not a deal breaker because I have to tell you, the sound quality is just really great. Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with the Line 6 hxeffects. The sounds are just fantastic. And the layout, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward as well. Though it has some features that I'm only now discovering. Alright, let's take a look at it. Okay. So here, to the left, we've got bank buttons, right? To go up and down the bank. So if I hit one, you'll see now it's flashing 0 to C. It's kind of hard to see, I guess. Which is called delay swells. So if I hit on that, right, it brings up all 6 effects basically. So you have a bass octaver here. You have, hold on, a res synth as your second one. The one switch looper, which I always keep in the right hand corner. Then an audio or auto volume echo, sorry. Right. Kind of hard to see, man. That's my camera, I guess. Okay. Then here in the green, we've got delay. And then to the right, you have a glitz reverb. Okay? So that's your basic setup. However, for me anyway, the cooler thing is to do snapshots. So basically, you go out of here, right? There we go. And we're back to choosing, the different presets. So we're on 0 to C. Now if you hit these 2 buttons at the same time, you'll notice you've got your snapshots here, and you've got a possibility of 4 different snapshots, which are kind of a preset within a preset. You never actually leave 0 to C, but it gives you different sounds. So that's perfect for the kind of stuff I do. So here, number 1 is clean, number 2 is bass, right? And then number 4 is flute swell, and number 3 is swell. So let's choose clean, and here are all the sounds, the 6 sounds, right? However, right now we only have the reverb on, right, for the clean sound. So let's hear what that sounds like. Alright, so this is just a default sound. Let's hear the clean. Now remember, the right hand corner, I always have the looper. So we could just loop something. Let's say, I don't know, just a sound. Okay, now remember, we haven't left the preset at all. But here's snapshot 2, which is the bass. We can loop that as well. Now we can go to our third snapshot, which is flute swell. So we could loop that. So you get the idea. It picked up a little glitch there. Did you hear that? So if I was recording, I'd play it over again and get a cleaner sound. But anyway, you get the idea. And the way I approach the hxeffects is very much like the Plethora X5. Alright. On the Plethora X5, you know, you've got 5 blocks. right, that you can put pedals into, including an octaver, a looper, let's say a delay and reverb, those kinds of things, right? And each preset is considered a board, like a pedal board. Well, it's the same idea here, right? Though you've got 6 blocks for effects, right? By using the snapshots, right? Then in every one of those snapshots, right? There's 4 of them for each preset. And for me, I always leave the 4th one as the bass, and the I always leave the 4th one as the bass. And remember, every time we bring up a snapshot, it shows 6 boards, right, or 6 blocks. And the upper right one is always the looper for me, the one switch looper. Though I could switch it to a 6-button looper if I wanted to do some fancy pants looping. Okay, so here's one called Clean Air. Let's try that one. Right. Okay. So here you go. This is the Clean Air. Again, go to the right hand corner, there's the looper. Now, besides the snapshots, remember you've got 6 sounds. You could also turn one off or on. For example, here I have the plateau reverb, which is currently turned off, but I could turn that one on as well and still stay in the same snapshot. Right? Let's hear that. Okay, we can loop that as well, of course. of these you can do. Here's another board just called Trem for some reason. T-R-E-M. And here we'll go into the snapshots. And I've got 4 snapshots set up. The first one is usually a clean sound. Second one is bass. Third one is swell. And the fourth one is whatever effect it is, so it's trem. And I try to set these all the same as far as snapshots goes. So that I always know that the bass is the second snapshot and the swell is always the third snapshot and so on. And remember, the looper is inside the snapshot for each one. So let's go ahead and choose clean here. Let's hear what that sounds like. I just think, man, it just sounds great. I love this sound. Of course, we can loop that, you know. Same kind of thing, we can also add, go back out, snapshot to the second snapshot, which is a bass sound, and add a bass, you know, sound. Now, so as you can tell, each preset has a different sound and different snapshots that I made for it. Right? For example, here's a phaser preset. So I click on the snapshots again. The first one is clean phase. Second one is bass. Third one is swell. And number 4 is pure phase. Right? And I mean, if I go through the sounds real quick, I'll choose the clean phase first. Second one is our bass sound. pretty basic. I mean, if you try to play, you know, it's kind of monophonic. If you play two notes at the same time, you get kind of a glitch. But for me, it works really well, and I've tried, you know, other octave pedals, and I wish they'd make a pedal with just the bass octaver. They kind of do. It's the HX one, but it does a whole bunch more than that. Anyway, yeah, I tried to subbing up TC Electronics pedal. I actually got one. It's pretty good. Pretty good, but I think the Line 6 bass octaver is superior. Anyway. So here's the third snapshot, which is just a swell sound. I put it on each preset. Whatever it is. Right? So cool. You don't have to use the volume knob or anything, you know. There's that phase sound. Okay. Lastly, we've got one more snapshot, the pure phase. Let's hear that. Alright, so that's the pure phaser one. Very nice sound, man. I mean, there's tons of these. In fact, it can do a synth sound. Here I'm on Synthomatic preset. And it's not quite like a synth pedal, but it's okay. Give you an idea. Here's the sound. That with a looper, right? ones. Let's try this one. Here's another synth kind same thing, you could loop that, you know. Okay. Just to show you, I mean, like here's a real simple tube drive distortion kind of thing. stock preset. I'm not even sure what it's called. It's yeah, so you have access to a ton of effects and things. And quite frankly, I mean, I still need to go through and find all the different effects it does. I've only created like 13 boards, I think. You know, and you heard some of them. Most of it's kind of ambient, kind of clean sounds. So for those who don't have, you know, $2,200 to shell out for the Helix Stadium XL, this might be a good alternative, and you'll find it for about $350 or less. You know, in fact, it'll be interesting to see what the final price of the hxeffects is after the release of the Stadium XL. You know. Now keep in mind though, the Stadium XL has amp modeling, whereas here it's just effects. Right, but boy do they sound good. And as I told you, I liked the sound of it so much I bought two of them, both used. I think both were like $350 or something. And I just love the sounds. I suppose it's a little clunky in a way because to get to the snapshots and things you have to hit two buttons, you know. And if you just touch a button, right, it can bring up different things like EQs and things that you can quickly change. You know, for example, on the looper, when I play the looper, if I want to lower the volume, then I just touch the looper switch and it'll take me to a screen where I can lower the playback, you know, of the loop. Those kinds of things, you know. Now, I'm sure there are probably ways around that, you know. Like it's always asking me to swap, you know, different blocks within a preset and things. But that's something I've yet to master, quite frankly. You know. But definitely one of my favorite units. In fact, I'd have to say, sound quality wise, it really gives my pedal board with individual pedals, which cost, you know, at least 2 to 3 times more than this board. It gives it a run for its money sound wise, you know, sound quality wise, if you like. And also the compares very much with the sound quality of the Plethora X5, you know, which sounds really good too. I think I mentioned in other videos, like less expensive boards like the new XMG30, right, which doesn't quite have the sound quality. However, it has features such as a built-in drum machine and USB recording with a loopback feature and those kinds of things, whereas these older units don't have. However, the hxeffects is built like a tank, and it's pretty big, and it's quite heavy, I mean sturdy, you know. Never have had a problem with it. So I'm quite impressed with it, and I highly recommend it. Because soon you're going to hear nothing but, you know, the release of the Helix Stadium XL and so on, you know, and of the Stadium. Both are quite pricey, quite frankly, you know. Anyway, so there you go, there's the hxeffects. I think it's a really great unit, especially if you treat it kind of like a Plethora X5, you know, where you've got 5 blocks. For me on the Plethora X5, I always keep the first one as the bass sound, and the last one is a looper, right? And then in between put delays and reverbs and so on. Well, it's the same idea here. Each preset is like a different pedal board, you know, and then you've got the 4 snapshots within each preset. It's a pretty cool concept. Alright, very good. I'll see you next time.